Rajapaksa, member of Parliament of Sri Lanka, is also with us. He is son of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa as well. Namal, welcome. This happened off the coast of your country. It is obviously of enormous interest to us here in India because this has happened in the Indian Ocean, not very far from your country and our country as well, but far away from where the real conflict is happening in Iran. A warship transiting international waters and being sunk. Your country's Navy has rescued many of the people in this ship that has been sunk by a US Navy submarine. How do you see this, Namal? Welcome.
Well, thank you very much. Yes, indeed, because as you correctly stated earlier, the war is happening miles away, and we can see movements in the Indian Ocean and just 40 nautical miles from the Gulf in Sri Lanka. So, which is a serious concern for Sri Lanka and also Indian Ocean, and I'm sure for India as well, as to national security and how these movements are happening, especially that vessel being a guest of the Indian naval exercise. And at the same time, I think the government of Sri Lanka must answer to the people of Sri Lanka and to the rest of the world whether they were aware of this particular situation or this particular attack on this vessel, or they were kept on dark. If they have been kept on dark, then they have to bring this up with the relevant authorities and especially with the United States. And if not, if they were aware of this kind of movement in the Indian Ocean and also in the Sri Lankan economic zone, or the EZ, we call it, of the international waters, then the government must make sure that they inform this properly to the Sri Lankan people and also, have a proper broader dialogue with the regional partners as well.
Do you think this needs to be taken up with the United States, the fact that it's happened, just off the coast of your country? Yes, in international waters, but like you said, in the EEZ, that has many strategic and security implications, Namal.
Yes, of course. I mean, especially when it comes to the Indian Ocean, because as we all know, Indian Ocean is something that is active at the moment compared to the Gulf region and also the most of the other parts of the world, looking at what's happening in the Gulf region at the moment. So this is something that Sri Lanka has to take very seriously. If the government had a dialogue with the United States and they were aware of this particular action, then they had to make sure why they kept it as a secret from the public and the parliament, and how they got into that agreement. If not, how come such an operation take place in our waters in the Indian Ocean without our knowledge? And this is something I believe the government of India and also the the Asian region has to come together and look at and take this particular incident very seriously.
From a larger perspective, Namal, how do you view this action in relation to the war at large? This is clearly proof that President Trump of the United States, is keeping his word in terms of destroying every element of the Iranian military, no matter where it is, whether it is in Iran, whether it is in the Persian Gulf, or whether it is off the coast of your country.
Well, see, we have seen this before from that part of the world. If you look at Libya and if you look at Iraq and even Afghanistan, the question is what is after? What's going to happen after? If his mandate from his own people in US, it's up to him to make a decision on that. But there are international laws and regulations that must be respected, and each and every country's sovereignty must be respected and protected. And this is about the national security of Indian Ocean and about Sri Lanka, India, Bangladesh, the regional part of the world, Pakistan. So this is something that region has to bring up together, I believe. And if every government come up with their own policies and own statements, but the question is what is going to happen after? What sort of repercussions that countries like us has to face. Because of certain decisions taken by decisions taken by certain superpowers, so-called superpowers in the world. So I think this is what we have been facing for a longer time, and this is what the countries like us suffer most of the time.
No, those are very important points you've raised.